Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Weedu Shivambu here, bringing you an update on my uh, current fasting and what's been happening. I made it halfway through. I set a 7-day goal to do the breatharian to urinarian, which simply means I was sustaining not only my breath and recycling my urine. And so it was all really going pretty well, and I made it 3.5 days. But last night, in bed, I started having some cramps in my calf, and I started noticing that I was getting a little lightheaded. I just bend over, and when I stand up, I just feel a little lightheaded. So I had to, analyze that and not just assume anything. I decided I would eat, so I did. And so I broke the fast today, and I'm okay with that. I am not beating myself up or anything. I realized that it was the longest fast, even at 3.5 days. I'd never done that before. So it's just one step ahead of time, doing what I'm doing. And I don't feel like I've shortchanged or failed by any stretch. I'm just developing and restructuring and retraining my body. And it's really important to look at the habits because eating is a habit. And, I've had to really decide whether or not it's a habit I want to continue supporting. That's why I'm looking into this. This is why I'm making these efforts, because I really want to discover how that is possible, because there's so many case records and historic records of people achieving these goals, and I'm totally impressed. I admire these people. They've discovered what I consider to be really the fountain of youth. They've lived these long, rich lives, and they're perfectly healthy. And I just think to myself, why wouldn't I want to do that? So I am practicing. That's all I'm doing. I'm practicing, and since I don't really have any coaches or support group per se, I'm on my own on this. I've been doing tons of reading. I do lots of study. I watch lots of other people's example and listen to them carefully, and then make my own decisions based on the knowledge I've gathered. So one step at a time, I'm okay with how this rolls. And what I found curious, last night, I collected all my urine instead of looping, which is what I'd been doing. I just keep recycling the urine, and I was following it with like about an ounce, like a shooter, a chaser of distilled water. And so I really wasn't adding a lot of liquid to my body. I was just recycling the liquid in my body. So when I collected it last night, instead of drinking it, which I had been doing, I'd just been recycling all of it. Last night I just collected it, and I was curious because it ended up being like way more than a quart of liquid, and every time I had been peeing, it was only a couple of ounces maybe in the cup, and I drank that and took a little shooter as a chaser of water. And so not much was coming out. I just kept putting it back in. So that was really fascinating to me, how much liquid was actually in my body, and how the association of dehydration and what comes up in the mind and what comes up about eating and the habit of food and all these things. They're all really interesting for me to study and look at. And I'm not out to hurt myself. I don't want to shorten my experience of living. I'm living a quality life at this point. I feel really healthy. And so I'm just taking it one step at a time. I just figured that this is just another step towards where I really ultimately want to get to, which is to be a full-on urinarian, where I'm just simply living on breath and doing my urine therapy every day with a couple ounces in the morning, a couple ounces in the afternoon, and like that. So anyway, it's all good. I just figured I'd be honest, since I posted a video of my mission, and I just figured it was time to give an update since it has changed. But I did make it halfway, and that's pretty good. I feel good about that. So with all that being said, I simply want to wish you a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. Send you love and happiness and peace. Peace. And ciao for now.